8 p.m. Currently tracking some strong thunderstorm activity across the area, even one severe thunderstorm. We'll take a look at that. It looks like it's kind of going toward the Sneed area there, southern Marshall County. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. It does not include Marshall County, but we do have a system moving through right now at a cooler air mass I was referring to. Let's switch to the other Doppler radar here, and we'll take a look at what we got going on currently. So there's our system that's currently moving through, bringing showers and thunderstorms, lots of gusty winds with it too now. Seeing a pretty hefty thunderstorm here right behind this cooler air mass. That looks like it's right over Aniana and Allgood. Some hail with that and some gusty winds. It has actually severe thunderstorm warned. So the severe thunderstorm warning for eastern Blount County and central Alabama until 5 p.m. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible. There could be some small hail in there too. Looks like that's kind of tracking to the northeast. Looks like it'll go kind of toward Walnut Grove area, which is just very close to Marshall County. So we're going to be monitoring that cell. And then we have some shower thunderstorm activity popping up here in the Dawson area, very close to Crossville. I hope this makes it to us because we really need that heavy rain. Really hoping these two don't split off, but it looks like they're trying to. Let's get back to our regular radar. It's a little bit more in depth. Overall, nothing severe at the moment. Just looking at this heavy rainfall that is starting to move into the Skirham, Dawson area, even Geraldine. And let you see this. We have a gust front that is currently developed, moving across Marshall County. That's kind of what these cells are firing on right now. So there's our gust front coming across there, moving across into the Grant area shortly, Guntersville, Albertville, Boaz areas here momentarily. Gusty winds with that, and that's actually what these storms are firing along here. Is this gust front and this cooler front that's kind of moving across the area right now, or cool front rather, popping up some showers and thunderstorms out there. So that is good. We definitely need the rainfall. Nothing severe at the moment, but we're keeping a close eye on it. So the velocity showing, some gusty winds associated with some of this showers here. Currently going toward Geraldine. Looks like some 20 to 30 mile per hour winds possible. And we do have 13 miles per hour now out of the west-southwest associated with this cell here. Going a bit further down, this cell here. Going to keep an eye on it in case it decides to move into Marshall County here shortly. Still tracking storms here across the area. Been a very hot day. We got up to 96 degrees, and it's currently 82 degrees right now. Temperatures have really dropped. Thank goodness we're at 81 degrees right now. So you can definitely tell we got some cooler air coming in. Let's take a look at current conditions right quick on our station. See if we can tell how much that temperature's dropped as this has moved on in. And you can, definitely see the temperatures really dropped. That's for certain as this thing's moving on through. Just taking a look at our observations in the background here. Got winds out of the south-southwest at 11 miles per hour. I was really hoping this cell would not split up because we really need the rain here. But anyway, going to continue tracking this one here. I'm not sure if it will actually make it into Marshall County as a severe thunderstorm. Severe thunderstorm anyway, but it looks like it's showing some signs of weakening a bit. And all that's tracking off to the northeast too. So if this continues its current track, which we hope it does, because we need some rainfall, it's moving kind of northeasterly. So it will put it on up toward, possibly into DeKalb County, southern Marshall County, around Boaz and Iberville. If it continues its track, it is kind of moving northeasterly. So more of a this kind of track here. Just track it on out. It would put it going very close to Boaz and then coming eventually through southwest and southern portions of DeKalb if it continues. And we do have this gust front still coming through Guntersville, about to come through Guntersville. We got some thunderstorm activity developing off of that, or shower activity rather developing off of that. Still a big mess out to the west. And there's just a really long gust front ahead of this stuff. It extends all the way from Fayetteville, Tennessee, all the way south here to Albertville and Boaz. A really long line there. So that line extends 67, 68 miles, or that gust front does. So it's a pretty long gust front. Looks like it goes even further into Tennessee than that, actually. I'm starting to see that on the map now. Yeah, it actually extends a bit further than that. But right now, just some showers, thunderstorms. We need the rainfall right now, that's for sure. I pray to goodness that heavier stuff comes our way. Still watching a very slow-moving stuff currently around the Kilpatrick area, it looks like. Maybe a little bit north of them, kind of going toward the Painter area. Some very heavy rainfall there. Geraldine, looks like you're about to get some really heavy rainfall as well. Crossville's had some rainfall. Looks like Collinsville's getting some rainfall right now. Sandrock, Powell area getting some rainfall, which is well needed. So we'll continue to monitor this stuff. Still keeping an eye on this cell here. It's just to the south, but looks like it's weakening a good bit. So not really concerned about it at the moment. My next concern is going to be with this near Odenville, which is still south of us. So we'll see if this stuff even makes it up here. There is a possibility that it will not, but I kind of think it might. So we'll just see what happens. These storms here just popped up out of nowhere. So kind of what we're dealing with, as I said, a pop-up pattern. Just ahead and along this cooler air mass moving through. We'll take another look at that. Gladly, we'll accept that cooler air mass coming in. Yeah, Shelby, if you haven't liked my YouTube, you might want to do that, because Facebook has notified me. They're pretty much hit and miss notifications. They've got me set restricted till October for a post that was put up months ago. So till October, it's going to be like this. So if you want to get notified, go to my YouTube, like and subscribe, hit the bell button, and you'll get notified when I go live. I also stream on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Hello, Wesley. Hope you're doing good. Switching over to another radar really quick. Okay, special weather statement. I just saw that come up. That is further away from us, so nothing there. So there's our air mass moving, cooler air mass. Just sitting over Arab right now, actually. It's coming to the northeast. Of course, there's a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms anywhere from Guntersville to Grant north and south. If you get east of that, there's only a thunderstorm probability outlook, general thunder, so they expect the storms to weaken before they get into DeKalb County. But there's kind of, map's really odd. These storms don't know boundaries, and when I say boundaries, this is what I mean. You got a boundary here between marginal that sits close to Guntersville Lake, and then you got just right across from it, no severe weather expected. So storms don't know boundaries. They're not going to go by this. So just remain weather aware. And I was really hoping that we'd get heavier rain than this, because this is just bad that these things are just splitting up like that over. It's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. Did not need it to do that. Just hope we get a lot more. Okay, special weather statement just going up for our area. Strong thunderstorms will impact central Marshall and southern DeKalb counties through 5:15. A strong thunderstorm was located along a line extending from near Crossville to near Tabor Road. Movement was northeast at a measly 15 miles per hour. Wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour in pea-sized hail, which we have observed about 20 here. Areas impacted: Albertville, Fort Payne, Rainsville, Crossville, Fife, Geraldine, Pine Ridge, Lakeview, Little River Canyon, National Preserve, and Skirham. And all that activity continuing to move off to the northeast ahead of this system here. So let's switch back to our other radar. And basically they're doing exactly what I was hoping they wouldn't do. But hopefully the backside of this rainfall will catch some of us, I hope. Looking at the velocity, seeing some signs of some gusty winds now. It looks like it just went over Geraldine, kind of going toward Lakeview. There's some gusty winds associated with this cell as it pushed on through. Like I said earlier, about 25 to 30 miles per hour possible with this cell as it's tracking on off kind of to the northeast. And another area is just southeast of Crossville, but the whole cell's producing pretty gusty winds. We got 18 miles per hour right now here in Skirham. Let me check something out real quick. Let's see. There's Birmingham. Let's see which radar is actually a bit closer. Is it going to be Huntsville or Birmingham? I'm thinking probably Huntsville. Okay, so Huntsville is, of course, that's the beam height. I really need to know the 66.9. Huntsville, or Birmingham's right here. So technically Birmingham is a little bit closer than Huntsville, so let's just beam it from Birmingham really quick. And we'll also take a look at it from Huntsville as well. I think Huntsville seems to be giving a little bit better coverage at the moment of this cell, which is looking high, I bet just a little bit higher up. Oh, that's depressing right there. But yeah, fingers crossed that this activity here makes its way up here. My fingers are crossed for it, that it'll make it this far northeast before it kind of fizzles out. So I'm noticing behind this gust front, they're kind of fizzling out a bit. So yeah, don't really see much of a threat with these showers in DeKalb County, but there is a special weather statement on them due that they are producing some gusty winds across the area. Nothing severe with it at the moment. Nothing looks severe either. Let's see what we got going on here.
Cat 911 to Crossville Fire, be advised. Have reports of a tree down in the roadway, large tree down in the roadway, 1.5 lanes of traffic blocked on Alabama Highway 68, close to mile marker 15, Alabama Highway 68.
Oh, that's nothing new there. So, yeah, going down the mountain, pretty big tree down blocking the lane. So, yeah, be careful with that. If you're going down the mountain, I believe that's going to be Dawson Gap area going down the mountain. I could be wrong. I'll find out a little bit more about that here in a minute. Okay, so starting to still following this gust front here, and I'm not really seeing much development behind it. In fact, I'm seeing these storms here kind of fizzle out as well, right over us as they're moving to the northeast. Well, Chelsea Graham, if you're in Geraldine, you're going to get rain. If you're in Lakeview, you're going to get some rain. If you're in Crossville, you're going to get some rainfall, which you already did. If you're in Skirham and Dawson, you're getting rain. And all this is fizzling out, unfortunately. So I'm kind of watching the cells to the southwest. That's kind of close to Douglas, which has got a severe thunderstorm warning on it. So I'm kind of watching those to see what they do, if they do move into Marshall County or not. Which I'm hoping they move into our direction. That way we'll get some rainfall. But yeah, Wesley, did you ever get your shirt? By the way, nobody ever let me know if you got it. So I hope you got it, and I hope you're enjoying it. We got hats as well now, a lot of hats. In fact, so many I don't have hardly any room to put any of them. So lots of hats for sale, and they're only $6 a piece. So I'm not asking a ton for them. They're pretty cheap. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to adjust this out a little bit better. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Good. Glad you got them, man. I'm glad you got them. I know they look pretty nice. I decided to go with the green for, specifically for the admins on the page. I decided to go with green, and I may just end up going ahead and selling green again. But right now, there is a special weather statement in place still. Strong thunderstorms will impact east central Marshall and southern DeKalb counties through 5:15. That's the newest update. At 4:35, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorms along the line extending from near Crossville to near Tabor Road. Movement was northeast at 15 miles per hour. So 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and peace-size hail possible. Albertville, Fort Payne, Rainsville, Crossville, Fife, Geraldine, Pine Ridge, Lakeview, Little River Canyon National Preserve, and Skirham. That's all the areas that is impacted, but it is quickly falling apart. So don't see these things lasting very much longer. And hoping we get some preset from the back side of this thing. We also have a tree down that looks like it's going down the mountain. I believe that's Dawson Gap southwest, something like going down the mountain there, somewhere right in there. Sorry about that. Got sidetracked there. But yeah, Dawson Gap going down the mountain, it seemed like. Either that or it's the route that goes from up here to the Fort Payne Road, the old one, the old route to Fort Payne. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about there. Said there is trees and power lines down, but I didn't get exact location of it. Didn't really catch it. All right, not seeing nothing of concern there. Man, it's like we got a shield over us here or something. I mean, look at this. The rain is actually trying to back away from us. That's talk about some bad luck. But hey, look at this gust front. Very big gust front coming out of this. So there is some very gusty winds coming out of this cell here. Big gust front just coming off of this. That gust front's moving to the northeast. It will impact areas of 5, Fort Payne, Rainsville, Powell, Sylvania, Henniger, and Valley Head eventually. Looks like it's going to head north up into Jackson. It'll impact Langston section, Dutton, and Pisgah before it runs into this other gust front out. Well, actually, I think they're both trying to run into each other at this point, and they are. So we got two gust fronts here that's just kind of fighting each other at the moment. So that's going to be pretty interesting to watch what happens there. Could get another development off of it. That would be pretty interesting if we did. So let's kind of watch and see what happens if there's any new development off of this. So yeah, very outflow dominant cells today. That is for sure. So still watching this cell here that is severe warned over Aniana, producing lots of rainfall and gusty to damaging winds, or actually damaging winds along that cell there. And that is continuing to track to the northeast. It looks like this cell's taking a northeasterly path. So if it continues to push north, because I'm noticing the back side is pushing north now. The front of it was kind of pushing northeasterly, but then we got a backside push there that's kind of pushing it more north on the backside there. So it looks like this thing, if it does continue, there is a possibility if it stays strong like it is. There is a possibility that a warning might go up for southern Marshall County around the Douglas area. That is if this thing continues its path right now and it stays the strength and it doesn't weaken out. There's a possibility that a warning could go up for southern Marshall County for some damaging winds, because it does look like there's damaging winds on the backside of this thing. Where that wind is actually jetting into it, you can really see that wind pushing up on the backside there. So if that continues, right there's some very damaging wind showing up, pushing into the storm. This thing could impact areas of Douglas, and a warning may be needed for southern or southwest Marshall County, far southwestern portion looks like, in southern Marshall County. And that cell could go, if it continues to push up like that on the backside, this thing could move toward Albertville and Boaz. That is a if. Looks more like toward Boaz than Albertville. But it could possibly go toward Albertville too. It really depends. But noticing those winds are really jetting into it on the backside there. On the velocity scan, a really tiny area of rotation I've noted too on that cell, which there was absolutely less than 2% risk of a tornado today. So probably not going to do anything, but we'll always keep an eye on it when we see rotation regardless. That is really weak, but it does exist. So yeah, them winds are just jetting in from the south on the backside of that. Okay, so also a reminder, don't be surprised, you're having some gusty winds right now in Albertville, or it may be more or less of a breeze, because it doesn't look like that's very intense at all. So probably just a quick breeze is going to go through Albertville, Boaz, along that gust front, and then it's going to continue into Kilpatrick, Painter areas, then Geraldine, Crossville, Lakeview. Just a bit of a breeze, from that. But there's another outflow boundary due to these storms or gust front here, lifting through Fife and Rainsville, and I'm noticing thunderstorms are starting to redevelop behind that gust front. So we'll keep an eye on this to see if any additional development occurs. But pretty good gust is going to come out of that. Okay, so still seeing the back side of that cell there. Push kind of northerly. So we officially had 0.01 of measurable rainfall here at Skirvin. That's the first measurable rainfall we've had in a while.
Alright, we're going down to 21 now. Yeah, well, I'm gonna get a roof.
Yes, it will cool down behind this. Not seeing anything. There is a possibility of severe stuff until this moves out. But to be honest, it's pretty much dying down behind this cool front that's pushing through. So, I mean, I really, there is a chance of some storms overnight. And tomorrow, and then another better chance on Sunday. But, you might run into some gusty winds. A thunderstorm may develop up there. It's still a possibility, and it may produce some gusty winds. Really low threat of anything severe, if that tells you anything, but it's not zero. So just keep that in mind if you're traveling there, free to just have ways to receive warnings and stuff like that if needed. But so my eyes are still on this cell here near Cleveland. And we're kind of waiting to see if it will move into Marshall County. Right now, it's looks like it's kind of undecided. The track puts it going into Marshall County, but not sure if it will. So there's two possibilities with this cell here. This backside could continue, and it could, move a little bit further north this direction, and it could move into, far southwestern portions of Marshall, which would put it around Douglas, and that is if it continues to be severe. Either way, you could get some rain and thunder and lightning, maybe some hail with it. I am seeing some indicators that's saying it is trying to intensify again just to the west of Aniana. So it could do that, or, if the backside there where that wind's jetting in, if it weakens, then this cell is just going to push off possibly northeast and just maybe clip this area of Marshall County before it continues to move off in this direction here. So that's two possibilities that could happen at this point. Just don't know really which one it's going to take. But I'm thinking it may take this a little bit more northerly approach since we have weakening on the front side and we got these winds jetting in from the south to the north on the back side. So, or actually southern part where the updraft rather is at. And still seeing some damaging winds in there. Let's see how high these winds really are. I mean, and we're still pretty high up. Keep that in mind. So they're going to be higher than this. We're pretty high up on the shot here. And for the Weather Service to issue a warning, it has to be at least 58 mile per hour wind gusts observed in there for that to be severe. So we're seeing, 30 and 40 miles per hour with it. And we're pretty high up, so it could be making it down to the ground at, 50, 60 miles per hour. Okay, it looks like it is going to take the first scenario at this point. So we pointed out two scenarios just before this started happening, and now it looks like it's going to try to take that first option there and move kind of further north. So we will keep an eye on this to see if it does move into Marshall County. It really looks like it's going to. At this point, things can always change, but it definitely looks like it is going to follow that second option there, going to move kind of toward Douglas. So looks like southern Marshall County around Douglas, going to keep an eye on this storm here. It is severe warned. It is, capable of producing some damage and winds, but we'll see if that continues. If it does make it, that far and it, continues to strengthen. Not looking too impressive at the moment, to be honest. That's not good. Okay, so if we got any new updates, we still have that special weather statement in effect due to these gusty winds along the storm. The last update was at 4:35. Still indicating some gusty winds along that. That is, due to that gust front, and I'm also seeing what looks like a little bit of hail. And that's going to be associated with the eastern part of that cell there you're looking at here on the map, which let me get it back to the map. You're actually not able to look at it, just realize that. But yeah, we got another little strong area here that we're going to watch that is moving to the northeast, possibly toward Fort Payne. Still a special weather statement out on this. Seeing a little area there, maybe some hail trying to develop within that cell, some pea-sized hail possible. Also noted some gusty winds showing back up with this cell here. About 30 miles per hour it looked like. And that cell there is lifting toward, looks like Fort Payne. Well, let's take a look at the comments real quick. Thanks, William. I appreciate that. Just seen your first comment there. You're the only weather I watch at all. I really appreciate it. No, Kyle, it doesn't look very, impressive at the moment, and none of it really does. Most impressive one I've, looking at is north of Powell there, going toward Fort Payne. Hello, Pam. Hope you're well. Thanks for watching. And yeah, we do need rain. I mean, I was out in the heat all day yesterday, and I'm just absolutely drained today. I'm sure you can hear by my voice. I sound pretty tired. Like that heat, man. It was bad yesterday, but today it was absolutely so bad. Started feeling sick. So yeah, and that warning on that cell has canceled. Kind of was figuring it was going to. So that is good news. Now let's see what we've got going on here. All right, so yeah, the good news is that cell, the warning was canceled on it. So areas in Sneed, Douglas, you could get some gusty winds out of this stuff, very heavy rainfall and gusty winds of maybe 20, 30 miles per hour. National Weather Service in Birmingham allowed that warning to expire. But we're still going to be keeping an eye on it because there's still some winds jetting up into that thing pretty intensely. But yeah, it's my thinking at the moment is a special weather statement may be needed here if it continues to strengthen up. Right now, we've got 20 miles per hour, which is not too bad. It's not really high at all. I do note some broad rotation in it. I'm sure you can see that by the map here. There is a little couplet. Just very broad stuff right there north of Rosa. So there is some broad, rotation, very broad. Nothing too bad with that cell at all at the moment. And also looking at it on the velocity scan, which is showing some rotation. Showing some 40 mile per hour winds on that, which that's the scan I was originally supposed to use, and just so tired I didn't click the right one. So 40 mile per hour winds looks possible with this cell, 40 to 50. So yeah, special weather statement may most definitely be needed with this cell here momentarily, and it is moving toward Susan Moore and Sneed, and then possibly eventually into Marshall County. It's not moving very quick. But yeah, it's really not that. It's not looking very good at the moment. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Well, all right, everybody, this is what we got. Just a bunch of pop-up showers and thunderstorms out there. Some of them strong, some of them not. Weather Service continuing, it looks like, that special weather statement, which has not updated since 4:35. And it's in effect until 5:15, or actually it says DeKalb County's through 5:15. So, but everything's really looking weak. Like, not seeing anything really intense at all. We got a new development now popping up just to the west of Fife, and that's along that Gus front, which I expected that to happen. So, that being said, we're not going to hold everybody forever. I just wanted to keep an eye on this cell here, just in case it did move into Marshall County. But the warning was allowed to expire. Gusty winds, heavy rainfall, all still remains possible from this storm. And keep in mind, it is rotating a bit. So I am going to keep an eye on it. It's very broadly, rotating, which, looking at it on the scans, it is broadly rotating. The cell does not have, in my opinion, even though it is broadly rotating, it does not have the look and characteristics of a cell that I would think is going to be producing a tornado at the moment. It just does not have that characteristic look to it of a supercell organizing that's going to be producing a tornado. That's as of right now. We know how quickly these things can actually change, but also we have to remember that there's only about a 1% chance. It's not even enough to show up on the maps. So really don't expect nothing tornadic out of that storm there, but it is Alabama. So, but right now, yeah, it just does not look decent enough at the moment for that. So I really don't expect nothing like that to happen out of it. Gusty winds, yes. Heavy rainfall, yes. Lightning, absolutely. As this thing continues to move through, but it's really weakening a good bit at this point. Looks like it'll move towards Sneed and then possibly Douglas if it doesn't fade out. So, all right, thanks so much for watching, everybody. That's the main area I wanted to watch was over Marshall County. Make sure nothing come up. So far, all that was canceled. Nothing's came up at all with that. So we'll still keep an eye on things out there, but there's nothing severe at the moment anywhere in northeast Alabama. That is some stronger storms, producing gusty winds moving through DeKalb County. Looks like it's north of Lakeview, moving toward Fife, Rainsville, another area going toward Fort Payne. Kind of staying to the east of Fort Payne, looks like. So nothing severe with any of that either at the moment. So Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Make sure you got ways to receive, alerts if we go live, because we will go live if we see something concerning, as we did with this. So we'll continue to watch the radar, and I'm gonna lay back a little bit, and relax. Feel like going to sleep, so I'm just gonna lay back, get off the stream here, and I'll be watching in the background. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for all the support, and hope everybody has a great evening. Stay weather aware, because we do still have a weak, very low threat of some strong to severe stuff. So thanks again, everybody. Take care. God bless. We'll see you.